My name is Kennedy NG, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. As every Sunday at 7 p.m., we have a very special guest. And tonight we have Raquel Pen. And Raquel is a real estate agent, a good one, that she will be bringing a lot of information, educational information, and her background as an agent. So I hope you can enjoy the program. And don't forget, every Sunday at 7 p.m., the Dream City. My name is Kennedy NG. Raquel, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kennedy. Thank you.
How you want me to call you? Raquel Pen or just Raquel?
Raquel is good enough, and thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions and feel free to answer the best as you can. Let's start telling the community, the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, about you, your background, your educational background.
Okay, beautiful. Absolutely great. First of all, I moved to New Jersey back in 1996 when my daughter was born. We decided to move to New Jersey. I started going to Hudson Community College where I obtained an associate's degree in applied science. I became a paralegal.
Paralegal?
A paralegal, yes. At the time I was working for Goya Foods for the general counsel there. And during that time, I then transferred to Rutgers University to their business school as I was going to obtain my bachelor's degree in finance.
And financial.
Yes. After that, I then went to work in Hoboken with a mostly real estate attorney. I say mostly because he does other areas of the law as well, but mostly real estate. And that's when I was introduced to the real estate world.
And that's why we are here tonight.
Yes, yes.
Talking about, buying houses, as you are a great real estate agent, I'm going to be asking you questions and maybe not 100% related to that, but you can feel free to answer, the best as your knowledge.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm going to be asking you, and this is a question that everyone asks themselves. Mm-hmm. How is the market right now if you compare now and before COVID-19?
That's a question that we get a lot. So before COVID-19, we saw the market kind of accelerating. After the downturn of 2008, things started getting better little by little. But towards 2019, it was really taking off. And a lot of us thought that, COVID-19 was going to really impact negatively the market. And the total opposite happened. So something interesting.
So I was wrong.
A lot of us were wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of us were wrong. Actually, I was able to close a large number of deals during the pandemic, and luckily for my buyers, because of the uncertainty of the market, they were able to get a good price because we did see a little bit of what's going to happen. The sellers were more open to negotiating and things like that. But as people started living with what's going on and started to live with the pandemic, then things just loosened up and the prices are super high. We're still getting bidding wars. We're still getting super high prices.
And it is true that a lot of people from New York or from other states came to New Jersey because the houses probably they were cheaper. And can you talk about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, a couple of things happened. One of them is, people were more aware and more interested in spending time with the family. Also, being what happened, a lot of them lost family members. A lot of things happened that made people stop and say, okay, family first, right? So we have a lot of people that also were given the opportunity to work from home. So now I don't need to live in the city if I work in the city, because I only have to come to the city once a week, sometimes once a month.
Good to know.
So that, of course, brings a lot of people, especially to cities like Union City.
Exactly. In one sentence. So the business is better now than before the pandemic?
It's better now for the knowledgeable agent.
Okay.
The unexperienced agent is going to have a hard time because, getting contracts through, it's a little bit challenging.
Okay, good to know. Raquel, tell me this, and not to me, to the community, the Dream City.
The Dream City.
The Dream City, Union City, New Jersey.
City, yes.
How a real estate agent make a profit in general? Is a percentage of the sale? Tell me.
Well, I can tell you it's a percentage of the sale that is paid by the seller, but I'm going to tell you a little bit something farther than that.
Okay.
It's by providing excellent service and making sure that a seller doesn't leave money on the table. So at the end of the day, they pay us to make sure that they get the right buck for their property.
Good to say, just to say a number.
Mm-hmm.
You sold the house $100.
Mm-hmm.
What will be your percentage?
Well, the percent in the state of New Jersey is negotiable. So it's going to depend on what I was able, or the listing agent is able to negotiate with the seller. Now, as you can understand, in every business, the higher the quality of the service, of course, you're going to charge more because you're going to be devoting more time to that sale. You're going to be providing an excellent service. So it's totally negotiable. It could range from 6%, and you have discounted agents, but I would stay away from those.
Remember, you are an expert. I am not. The community need to know things like that because, first buyer, they have a lot of questions. And just to say a number, 3%, 4%, 10%, what is the maximum that you have had?
The maximum that I've had is 6%.
Okay,
it's the maximum.
And that's good, and that's reasonable. When you mention agent, it sounds like big.
Mm-hmm.
Is a requirement in talking about educational background that you need to be an agent, a real estate agent?
Well, that's a very important question, especially nowadays that there's so many scammers, right? So in order for you to be a real estate agent, a realtor, or licensed agent for that matter in the state of New Jersey, you need to take a course. The course is not long. It could take, if you take the accelerated course, it can take 3 weeks, and then you pass an exam, and then you go before the state to get the exam.
To the real life.
To the real life. But that's just to obtain your license. You come to the industry with just a license and you really have the bare minimum. You need a lot more than that in order to be able to appropriately represent a buyer or seller. That's just the beginning of the real estate career.
Do you remember your first days in the career?
Oh, I absolutely do. I remember the old program. I remember carrying a bunch of contracts in the trunk of my car. When I started in real estate, I actually had another job. I was working with Frank Marciano. This was back in 2003 that I got my license. And I had the full-time job. I was still going to Rutgers. I hadn't graduated yet. I graduated in 2006. And I remember going from Frank Marciano to college to then show houses. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I used to get to the office really late, but I was able to make it, and I did really good.
Raquel, tell the community the basic advices before someone purchases the first home. What the person have to know?
Well, if you're looking to purchase a home, the first thing you want to do is contact a reputable real estate agent, because there's a lot that goes into purchasing a home. And I know that in your program you want to tell your viewers exactly what the steps are. But I sit with my potential clients and I prep them. I sit them through an hour of conversation, and I cover all the steps, what's requested, what is expected, what the process looks like, so on and so forth. So the first thing really is going to be contact a real estate agent. And another thing is, if you're going to look for a real estate agent, try to ask somebody who has bought a home that can you recommend someone? Don't just go online and look for realtors.
And that's a good advice.
Yes, because you know what? Those that, I'm not going to say is the same in every case because I don't want to be unfair, but those that have to be advertising to be in front of your face, they probably don't have that word of mouth. Like 90% of my business comes from referrals. So that's someone you want to work with. Somebody that says, you sold my house and suddenly you're their heroes. That's the person you want to work with. Someone who has done the right thing time and again. Not to say that we don't make mistakes. We're human. We all make mistakes. So it's not saying, I'm perfect or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you have that agent that someone has referred to you because they have used them in the past.
Let me call you Raquel Pen.
Okay.
In this one.
Sure.
How a person or buyer could identify if the agent is honest. And this is very valuable for the community. I mean, I have some money for the down payment. Now I'm looking for a real estate. The person who is helping me, how can I identify if you are the one that I need, honest?
That's a very good question. Every question that you've asked so far. Well, basically what you want to do, you want to make sure that the real estate agent that you're hiring, first of all, meet them in their office. One of the requirements of the real estate commission is that we have a physical office, not just a .com.
That's a good tip. Okay?
Yes. So meet them in their office. See the environment. The environment is going to tell you a lot. Look them up. Look them up on the internet, on social media. See, what they've been up to. And very, very, very important, especially when it comes to rentals, that is so that we so often get involved in. Never, ever, ever, ever give anyone cash. Okay, we never take cash.
And this is part of the mistakes that we do. It's culturally, because we believe like, I like that house. Let me just put some cash. I have some money. Let me go to the bank. That's good that you're saying that.
Yes. So make sure you never give them cash. You never send them a transfer. I have a client, if I may share this experience that I had. So I was selling a house in Union City. The owner needed an apartment for his son, and he started looking. He came across an agent that said they found a beautiful apartment and they really wanted it. So he asked them to sell him the money. First red flag. I said, as real estate agent, we have to abide by a lot of rules. And one of them is that we don't get paid. Our company gets paid. And our company compensates us. So they were going to give him money. When I looked this person up, and by the way, you can look up if somebody has a license by going to the New Jersey Banking Commission.
Good.
Okay?
Good to know that.
So Real Estate and Banking Commission, you can look up, you can put the name.
It's
Raquel
the same
Pen.
thing when you're looking for a good doctor,
Yes.
you look for the credentials. So that's a good thing to know.
So I called up the realtor, and I said, hey, this is so-and-so. I noticed that you're asking my client for a large deposit for this apartment, and the long story short is that he wasn't even licensed. When I told him,
Yes.
I couldn't find you in the
Can't even believe it.
website of the state, and he said, I haven't paid my dues. And I said, oop, red flag. And thankfully my client was not, taking advantage of
Good
it.
information.
Yes.
Good information.
I'm happy.
Let's say I wanted to buy a house, and this is my first home that I'm trying to buy. And we are here in Union City, Hudson County. I'm a humble house. How much do I need just to have the community have an idea to say if the house is $500,000, how much money do I need for the down payment?
Well, contrary to what a lot of people may think, you don't need that much money. Okay? I guess it depends on the perspective, right?
Exactly.
But 3.5% is all you need if you're going to go with an FHA loan. 3.5%.
For the first buyer?
For the first home
Okay.
buyer. 3.5%, which is 17,500. On top of that, you do need closing costs. But depending on the property, on the agent, on the price, on many different things, we may be able to negotiate where the seller pays for your closing costs. So all you would have to come up with is $17,500. And if you put that in perspective, if you're looking for an apartment to rent a $2,300 apartment, you need to come up with approximately $8,500. So it's not that far to just get an apartment.
Sometimes we think that we need a lot of money, and then we just save. Probably we wasting time saving, and we don't know the steps and the programs that exist.
And you're paying somebody else's mortgage in the meantime.
Raquel, tell me, now I have the money to put as a down payment, and I need a bank for the loan. If you can tell me what the bank is looking for to approve your loan.
Okay, so they look at very specific things. So the banks want to give out loans. That's the reality. They make money by lending you money, right?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
they are looking to help you out, but you have to meet their criteria. You have to have a decent credit score. Okay, so FHA, for example, and this is a rule of thumb, things can change up or down depending on other elements.
What is a decent credit?
We're talking about, for FHA, we're talking about 620.
620.
That's decent. That's going to give you, a good
Just
rate.
open door, yeah.
Yes. Some people have a little bit lower than that. We can work with that. Just come to me, call me, say, Raquel, this is the situation, because every person is different and has a different scenario. So I would say, to answer your question, 620 FHA.
So a young couple want to buy a house. The house have to be only under one person, or could be a combination of the husband and wife?
Oh my God, that's an excellent question. And if you didn't bring it up, I'm not sure I would remember to mention that. But I believe it's up to 5 people that can be on a mortgage.
5 people.
So imagine, a household that everybody makes not quite a huge amount of money. But once you put them all together, then that money adds up and you can all buy together.
So these 5 people in the mortgage, it will be like a one leading the mortgage, the one that have better credit, or it could be a combination.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I love the questions. Okay, so basically, first of all, I am not a mortgage rep, but this is just, through the years,
giving me an idea.
Experience, right. So usually what they do is they take out of the 5 people, they take the lowest credit, and that's what everything is going to be based on.
Good. You answered my question.
I'm happy.
Good. Raquel, tell the community, this is Union City, the dream city. I always repeat it myself because this is really the dream city. And that's why you're here, because your background is Union City, Hudson County.
Yes.
Tell me federal or state programs that can help the first home buyers.
So we have NACA, which is the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. That's a program that helps first-time home buyers.
And that's a federal one or state?
That's
a
non-for-profit program.
Okay, good.
Yes, and they help first-time home buyers with the down payment and the closing costs.
Okay.
Okay, so that means that you can potentially purchase a home with 0 down payment. Now they do have requirements. You have to make a certain amount of money. They want to make sure that once they give you the loan, your monthly payments are not going to be more than 1/3 or 31% of your
It's a
income.
formula.
There's a lot of guidelines, but that's one of the programs. And my understanding, again, I'm not a mortgage expert, but every county has their own programs. There's a little caveat with that, if I may mention. It's that going through these programs in this current market, I have helped people with this particular program of NACA, and they lose out on bids because you have people buying properties cash, you have people buying property with conventional without any assistance that can be closed in 4 to 8 weeks. When you go with these programs, it's going to take a little longer. But the good news is that if the market continues to slow down, a seller may be more open to wait the time that it takes to go through these programs. And NACA is just one of them. There's many other programs that you can tap into and take advantage of.
Your own experience here in Union City, it is hard to sell a house. Just, you can tell me the truth, because this program is to inform, education, and things that we should know.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Union City. It could be Hudson County in general.
It's not hard. It's not hard at all. You have to have, that's why I mentioned at the beginning when we spoke about what it takes to be a real estate agent. You get a license, but that doesn't teach you how to properly help someone sell a home. So with the right marketing techniques and pricing the property according to what the market says, because we don't determine the prices, the market does. So as long as you have a knowledgeable agent that knows the market, you should have no problem selling a home in Union City.
Any recommendation for a person looking for a house before they buy the house or intend to buy the house, to go to city halls and ask to search?
Yes. I recommend always, especially when you're talking about a multi-family home in Union City, you want to go and make sure you go and you get an as-built from the building department. You want to know if there's any open permits, because what may happen is that you may be ready to close. The lender says, congratulations, your loan has been approved, you're now ready to close, but your agent, and this is actually the agent's job.
And this is a good advice.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Yes. So what I do in Union City, the moment I get a listing, I want to see what City Hall has. If there's any open permits, if there's any violations, what's going on with the property. As a listing agent, you want to make sure that you're leading your client. That's why we're the experts. You don't, a regular buyer.
And that's why you are here.
Yes.
Because you know your job. And this is what we need in the community.
Yes.
Every person that sit down there to give a proper, accurate information, because that's all we need as a community.
Yes. And it can take some time to cure some of the problems.
Exactly.
Don't walk away. Just know what you have to go through and do your due diligence. Hire the right agent.
Exactly. Raquel, anything that you could add to this conversation or interview that maybe we didn't cover or you need to tell the community?
Home ownership is a beautiful thing. You just got to make sure you're prepared for it, that you have the right team on your side. Ask a lot of questions, and if something seems to be true, it may be. So make sure that you have always, so they say that you have to have a doctor, an attorney, and a mechanic. Add to that list the realtor. I have my clients, my past clients.
I am agree with that.
Yes. I have my past clients who call me just to say, hey Raquel, how's the market? Or can you help me with, with tax, the taxes, the tax appeal? Or can you help me in any area? We are a resource to you. So make sure you add to that list of a doctor, an attorney, and a mechanic. If you have a car, you add a realtor, someone that
so
you can
I have one now.
Yes, you do. 100%.
Very good. Very good. So Raquel, thank you for taking the time to come to the Union City, the Dream City. I know you as an agent, you have to be busy visiting different places, visiting different properties, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be able to contribute to the community, one that has opened their arms to me and has welcomed me and allowed me to work here. So thank you.
Formally, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. So I hope you enjoy the program, and I see you next week at 7 p.m. as every Sunday, the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey. My name is Kennedy Ng.